12:49. Becky Murray is from the One by One charity, which does humanitarian work in Kenya. And for tragic reasons, you know all about malaria because your husband nearly died of it in 2014, Becky. My goodness, what a dangerous thing it is.
Yeah, it really, really is. And the speed with which it can take control is quite scary as well.
I'm always amazed when the story from Milton as well, where this tiny insect bites you and it something goes in and it's microscopic, and within maybe a week or two you are incapacitated.
Exactly that. So my husband contracted it in September of 2014, and by the beginning of October, he was literally given 3 hours left to live because his heart, his liver, his kidneys, and his lungs were all in organ failure.
And this was from a bite. Because he was taking a preventative pills and they failed, or using a net and it failed, or what?
Yes, so we used a mosquito net, but obviously if you're around the village, even in the evening or the early hours of the morning, you can still be bitten. And so he'd obviously been bitten, and we weren't taking the medication at that point because we naively thought we'd already built up a resilience because we were there so often. And sadly, we found out the hard way he hadn't built up any resilience.
So were you, I know you were in Kenya at the time, but were you then taken to another country, or did you stay there for treatment?
No, we'd come on from Kenya already. We'd finished the trip there. We'd come on. We'd literally come to England for about 2 days just to exchange out the cases. And then we were actually in America at the time doing some fundraising for our secondary school out in Kenya. And it was there that he very quickly became ill.
Goodness, so at least he got good care.
He did. He got phenomenal treatment. The staff in the hospital were brilliant.
But you saw children dying from malaria in Kenya. Yes, we've actually lost a couple of children. So one of our staff members, she had an 18-month-old, called Charity, and she died of malaria. And then within a couple of years of that, one of the children who had been a part of our school for several years, he was called Titus and only 9 years old, and he also died of malaria. Oh, it does terrible damage. Your charity is a Christian one which does humanitarian work in Kenya, so I'm guessing that the vaccine will be a really important part of your job, will it?
Hugely important. It will make a massive difference, not only to all the kids in our care, but our whole community, the whole village. Kenya's like a second home to me. And so the people out in the village of Bumalabi, this is life-changing to them because they can't afford to get the treatment that they need as and when they do get malaria. And so if they were able to get the vaccine and not have a dangerous killing virus going around, that this is just would change their lives.
Thank you, Becky, so much. All the best to you and your husband. Thank you.